What's up, SNA fans? This is Super Ninja Austin back here with another wrestling news video. It's going to be on March 28th, 2024, where we're going to be talking about the wildest wrestling news stories and rumors that you SNA fans need to know from the sports article. And make sure to watch it to the very end because it could get very, very, very exciting. And thank you, my usual Michael Vasquez, for your support and watching my further delays. Let's start off on today's wrestling news video with CM Punk. Big at CM Punk on social media during their time together in AEW. On June 17th, 2023, Punk appeared on the first episode of AEW Collision after a 9-month absence from television. The Best in the World refused to apologize for his role in the infamous backstage incident at All Out 2022. Instead, he told fans that the only person softer than you are the wrestlers you like softer than the wrestlers you are that the softer than you are the wrestlers you like. That's what it said on X, that CM Punk propping speculation about real life issues between the two. The sculptor Nemeth clarified that he was merely trying to further his on-screen persona online. He said, "I'll tell you that there's some things I can talk about and some things that I can talk about, but I can very happily. I can very. Where is it? Tell you about my tweet. The top good guy on the TV show was missing for 8 months due to what I was told was a triceps injury, right? And on his very first night back, he in character called someone else soft, and so I thought, well, I'm a heel. This is a babyface. We both work for the same wrestling company. I'm the I'm the heel, and this is a babyface. We both work for the same wrestling company. Yeah, which is on Article 1240 to 1308. If you want to read more full of the interview by Nick Nemeth with Sportskeeda, it was widely reported that CM Punk did not want Ryan Nemeth backstage at AEW Collision shows. Following the social media post, while Nemeth did not confirm or deny that rumor, he did take a light-hearted. He added, "He gets injured more than anyone who's ever wrestled, and on his very first night back in care he's supposed to do. Of course, I must respond to this and in character, like amply not safe. I'm not safe. Safely, I'm not safely able to talk about at this time during this interview, but I think that's a very responsible thing for a bad guy heel to say in response to the heroic the heroic baby face who seemed to be a little bit hypocritical. In September 2023, CM Punk was fired by AEW following a separate a separate alleged backstage incident with Jack Perry at All In 2023. The veteran wrestler returned to WWE in November 2023 after an absent absence of almost 10 years, however, he suffered another tricep on his televised. Another triceps injury, except on his other arm in the right. On his And what are your thoughts on CM Punk, on CM Punk and his time in AEW? And do you agree with Ryan Nemeth? And do you think he's a hypocrite? Let me know in the comments down below. And let's move on to the next slide. We got now Ryan Nemeth cannot discuss his AEW absence. On November 4th, 2023, Ryan Nemeth teamed up with Peter Avalon in a losing effort against Paul White and then on the same night, Ring of Honor tag team match, and ask about his wreath parade on why he not appeared on AEW television as of late. He added, "I will very diplomatically tell you at the moment everything I've ever done with AEW, I've been very proud of, and I appreciate the time every single match I had there and all the friends I made and it was a great experience in TBD. For the World Wrestling Council, what's your thoughts on? And do you think it's a good thing or it's a bad thing? The reason why he's not there, which I guess one of the reasons why, because they probably gave him some time off just to work some dates in at World Wrestling Council, which is WWC, not WWE, but called the no Puerto Rico Championship. And do you think he's gonna win? Let me know in the comment below. I hope so. I hope he does, and I wish him the best of luck. Hopefully, he wins some championship, wins the championship, and walk out of there as this promotion champ. Even though I would much prefer him to one day be the AEW champion, but that won't probably happen until like the next few years, like if he stays long enough. But yeah, again, all about this in the comment section right down below. And let's move on to the next wrestling news. Zayn against Gunther at WWE WrestleMania veteran. And it says right here, former WWE head writer Vince Russo believes Chad Gable should cost Sami Zayn his Intercontinental Champion, close to dethroning Dean General last year, but ultimately fell short. Fell short. Gable also participated in a gauntlet match on Raw a few weeks ago and determined the number one contender for the Intercontinental Championship. However, he once again failed to get past the finish line. Get past the finish line since then. Gable has been in the ear of Sami Zayn to beat Gunther at WrestleMania. Speaking on Sportskeeda Wrestling's Legion of Raw, Vince Russo said he wants to see Gable screw Zayn in the Intercontinental Championship match at WWE's upcoming premium live event. So hit a bump on Raw this past Monday as as he lost to Bronson Reed just 2 weeks before his big match at the Showcase of the Immortals. And one of the reasons why, because you try to hit that this move will work in American soil anywhere in other countries besides the Middle East. But Simon Miller's like, nope, that's a totally bad idea, and you're going to regret it for the rest of your life, and you're going to continue being on a losing streak, which Sami Zayn did not like. And then he's trying to prove him wrong that it's not the Blue Thunder Bomb. The reason why he doesn't get a win is because he always gets caught off guard, and he needs to he just needs the move successfully and try to get the win successfully. But that move, it does not work. And I see what Simon means, but I would be very shocked if somebody managed to break that curse. But until then, I'm just gonna pay attention that it's the least devastating move, and it hardly gets any highlights in professional wrestling. Well, in the hardcore internet wrestling scene, but I mean not scene, but community, the hardcore internet wrestling community. But like the casual wrestling fans say, like that's a very powerful move. And like including my family members, like my mom or dad or brother, when they watch Sami Zayn with me, like how much of a talented individual that he is. Like, how come that? I tell them that's the signature move. They're like, how come that's not his finishing maneuver? And I was saying, like, you're telling me, like, like that's what I've been saying ever since I've been watching him for the past decade, But anyways, but Gunther, meanwhile, has not been debuted. Delaine General has held the Intercontinental Championship for over 600 days and currently looks favored to retain the title at WrestleMania 40. But that's only if it's against Sami Zayn. But anyways, what are your thoughts on this wrestling? And do you think do you agree with Vince Russo? And we're gonna see Chad Gable somehow screw Sami Zayn out of his that. I think if it's just gonna stick with if WWE's gonna stick only Sami Zayn versus Gunther, I could see that happening. But I mean, obviously for Gunther retaining, but if they add Chad Gable somehow in the match, then I can see Chad Gable winning. Whether if he wins by pinfall against either, comments down below on what's going to be the decisions that WWE make. Is it going to be a triple threat match, or is it going to be just a one-on-one match between Sami as well into his accolades of achievements in the main roster so far? The only thing he probably needs to do now is win heavyweight championship gold, which that's probably not until the next couple of years from now, but for now, he's doing a very successful job as of late. And if he maintains this, he could possibly be the greatest mid-card champion in WWE history overall, of having memorable matches, the longest reign, and everything else. Like everything that you would see and continue to maintain his charisma and his credibility, which they're doing a really good job doing everything, and they're not making him like a mid-carder version of Roman Reigns, like that rarely shows up and then hardly defends his championship. He defends the title when he needs to, like when it's on schedule, and that what makes him like starting to be a fan favorite, even though. I think it's time for Gunther to drop the title and then get on his way to get into the main event scene, because he elevated himself from the mid-card scene to the main event scene on the main roster. Like something that they already should have put him on, like ever since he got called up back in 20. That's the blessing in disguise, I suppose. And we're going to have to see if Gunther's going to remain the championship by the end of the night at either night 1, night 2, or do you think we could see a new champion, whether if it's Sami Zayn or Chad Gable? Second generation WWE superstar ready to win new championship after Corey Graves announced it. WWE just announced the new and its newest championship days before, new championship days before WrestleMania with with Corey Graves as its spokesperson. Like now, like a WWE star has shown his readiness to win it. Like second generation star and son of William Regal, uh, the son of William Regal, Nathan Frazier. A son of William Regal, Nathan Frazier had something to say. Are you sure they're not talking about Charlie Dempsey? I'll just call it Nathan Frazier to be on the safe side. They typed this in with confidence, but anyways, back to the review. Corey Graves appeared on social media to announce the new WWE Speed tournament, like where the stars would have only 3 minutes to defeat their opponents. Starting April 3rd, WWE Speed airing exclusively on X brings a fresh and dynamic new twist to classic in-ring competition, where some of the fastest and toughest superstars to do battle with time itself. Because in WWE Speed, our superstars only had 3 minutes to defeat their opponent. Three intense ad 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 line field minutes where strategy, ability, and strength collide. He he described it as a sprint to the finish line, sprint to the finish line, and said that the prize was that the winner of the tournament would win the first ever WWE Speed Champion, and immediately increasing the stakes for the tournament. Nathan Frazier took to Twitter to share the announcement made by Corey Graves and said that he was going to be the new champion by saying WWE Speed Champion sounds about right. WWE Speed Champion Nathan Frazier sounds about the right. Sounds about right. That's what. Yeah, it's WWE Speed Champion Nathan Frazier sounds about right. While putting the hashtag never slow down. Because he does the comparisons of being like the Tyreek Hill of WWE, on how fast he is, and him going fast and furious on. But yeah, they're pretty impressive, and this guy looked like if he could be the next, at least United States champion, if not the Intercontinental champion, depending on which brand he moves on, with that specific title being on the same brand that he's on. Whether if it's the United States champion on Raw or SmackDown or Intercontinental Championship, vice versa. But yeah, he shows that he's a breakout mid-card star, and maybe even a unexpected breakout world championship star. But yeah, but it shows. But in the past, plenty of mid-card wrestlers show that they don't even need the need to win a world champion to increase their popularity. They can do it naturally, whether they're championship material or not, as long as they're giving that entertainment, putting that E in entertainment in their what's that called, in their under their arsenal, I guess I could say. But here's the tweet right here from Nathan after Corey Graves posted on his X account that they will be revealing the new WWE Speed Championship. And they're gonna do a tournament. If you could beat your opponent by 3 minutes, then you're gonna merge to the next round, and then until it's the final, until they crown their first ever champion, which we're gonna see when this is gonna happen. Which I believe they said at the beginning of April they're gonna crown their new champion. And what are your thoughts on this new title? And it's going to be exclusively on Twitter, after the show. Especially, I believe it's going to be on after SmackDown. It's a dark like dark matches, like of their new show WWE Speed. It's starting to be like more like a dark show rather than just a SmackDown dark match. Like, but let me know in the comments below and what your thoughts on this concept and what your thoughts on them making its own championship exclusively on this dark show exclusively on Twitter to watch if you're not live in attendance, like after the show goes off the air. And I heard that if I'm not mistaken, I heard that Pete Dunne kind of pitched this idea because he was because WWE was trying to give an experiment to the Bruiserweight on how can he what if he went in retirement and then if he had some creative ideas, which he shown of the executives and the creative team, including producing role, even though it's not full time, he's not retiring. More likely just what's that? It seemed like he did a pretty well job because whilst they're making a championship like out of this little speed show that like you win less than 3 minutes, if you win less than 3 minutes, then you're the champion, I believe. Like when whoever's going to be the inaugural champion after this tournament. Of course. I guess it's just to show like who could be the quickest wrestler to win less than 3 minutes. But yeah, let me know about this concept in the comments below. Do you think they're going to mention this new championship this Friday? Which I'm not sure if they even mentioned this. But yeah, I think they might show it though at the same time, just to show the fans like something to watch exclusively. If you're not live in attendance, you can just watch it on your phone, or wherever you get your wherever you get your what's that called, your social media account from, I should say. Yeah, wherever you get your social media from, I should say. Let me rephrase that. Not adding an account, but just laptop, your phone, like wherever you watch, or even TV, like wherever you watch anything on your social media page. And yeah, you can just watch it exclusively on there. But let me know about this in the comments down below. And do you think it's gonna last for a while, or do you think it's gonna be it would be lucky if it lasts for a year? But I don't think it will be lasting for a year. I think it probably would be good for a good 5 years. But yeah, we're just gonna have to wait and see what it does in the first run in this first year of this concept of the WWE Speed Championship. But let's move on to the next wrestling news. We got some news about we got Graves news now, as an interview with Sportskeeda admitted that he had taken on more responsibilities in the WWE TV studio, like in production, but that he was doing so unofficially. He said, "I have kind of unofficially taken on some responsibilities in the television studio, and as far as I don't have an official role like doing anything of that, but I kind of get to lend my experience, my expertise or opinion, at least on a lot of different things. At this time, it's not certain what other responsibilities the star has, but with him being the face of the announcement, he may be playing a bigger role than just a commentator in WWE. And what are your thoughts on what it could possibly be? Do you think Corey? What are your thoughts? Do you think that Corey, what big responsibility he's been taken care of as of late? Like, do you think it's some kind of Do you think it's like some kind of producing role, or do you think it's some kind of movie project? Or because he did that and he's been doing big responsibility at the WWE studio, do you think he's gonna be he's gonna be starring in some kind of upcoming WWE movie, or do you think it's something totally different entirely? Let me know in the comments down below. Like you never know what else could the SmackDown commentator could be doing. But either way, even though I pretend that I don't like the guy because he's kind of lame, like when he's playing such an entertaining heel commentator, just like Nigel McGuinness. But at the same time, I still have much respect, and I am very entertained by his journalism in the commentary booth with Wade Barrett, and I kind of miss him being the co-commentator with Michael Cole, but at the same time, I still be entertained with him being the SmackDown co-commentator with the former master of bad news. But yeah, I only wish him the best at it, like whatever big responsibility that could possibly be. But but yeah, we're not sure what it is. But at the same time, like I know I keep saying "but" way too much, but I'm just trying to make sure I get it right, like right in my sentence. Yeah. Well, yeah. I wish him the best of luck, and hopefully he's doing successful at this very unofficially this unofficial, I should say, not officially. I mean, this unofficial this unofficial project that he's working on with WWE. And yeah, hopefully it's a great one. Not talking about how much that he wants to get very intimate with Carmella, I guess you could say. Like, let's hope they keep those private feelings to themselves in their house and leave it there. But let's move on to the next wrestling news before I start cracking more jokes. And we're gonna be talking about we got some news about the bloodline with remember when a notable I remember when I impersonated The Rock right before WrestleMania 39, as The Rock has been on a roll ever since returning earlier this year from taking on a new administrative position in WWE to the final boss as asserting his dominance on the mic, in the ring. The 51-year-old is doing whatever it takes to replicate his previous heel run. A couple of years ago, rumors began circulating about Rocky's potential in-ring return to take on Roman Reigns. The Usos, most specifically Jay Uso, were set to defend their undisputed tag team titles against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn a promotion promotional interaction. Jimmy Uso entertained fans by in by what's that in imitating The Rock's mannerisms, in his signature eyebrow raise, adding to the theories in the world of wrestling world, adding the theories in the wrestling world. My apologies for saying the opposite, about to say the opposite, but glad I correct myself, even though I believe the damage has been done. But anyways, despite growing up with a very aged gap, with Roman Reigns and the Usos Like the star has always spoken highly of them. He was like The Rock returned intending to face Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40, but the backlash of him taking Cody Rhodes' spot forced him to turn heel again. And here's the post on Instagram by Jimmy Uso. Shoot.
And when I got him down to the ground, I did one of these. I said one of these. I hit him with one of these. I said one of these. And I hit one of these.
But yeah, what are your thoughts on his very impressive impersonation of his own cousin, of him doing the eyebrow raising and the poses and then make it look like he really is hitting him, but it was an impact by hitting the pounds right into the head. Even though they don't stiffly hit the moves just because of safety precautions, but at the same time that doesn't make it fake. They're just they're just saying won't occur. Like you don't have to worry about them going being out of action for like half a year, or even a full year. Like they'll have to change any plans and then that will take a very that'll take a very long time just to come up with some very good cool plans like they did for the original wrestler, and they had to postpone those plans and find some new plans for the understudy that they'll be using instead of what's his name instead of that not what's the doesn't know that instead of that wrestler that got injured at a very inconvenient time. So that's why they do stuff cautiously and safely, not because like they're trying not because like so it won't cause no injuries like out of action and then if they're not careful the wrestlers are clear enough to compete out in the squared circle. So that's why they of the other way around and far to the point that you see injuries occurring then but most of the times it's usually on accident, but some of the times it could be on purpose just because they hate the wrestler they're fighting against. But again, back to Jimmy Uso, proclaim main event Jimbo, doing that about nearly 12 months ago, if not already. Well, I think it was past 12 months when he did that, like back early 2023. But yeah, I know he cracked me up for doing that. But let's move on to the next wrestling news, and that is he got some Becky Lynch news, expected to get fired when she personal broke person what's that personnel, I believe. Yeah, broke personnel like news, like personal news. I said not not personnel, like that would be like a double L. But anyways, I broke personal news to Vince McMahon reveals like his reaction. WWE superstar Becky Lynch is riding high to late thanks to the release of her autobiography, like not autography. What am I even talking about? He's talking about Becky Lynch's autobiography, Becky Lynch, the man, not your average girl, and its back tour, like also a women's world championship match is around the corner against Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania 40. Speaking of the showcase of the Immortals, like the Irish star, like successfully defended her Raw WWE Raw Women's Championship against Shayna Baszler at WrestleMania 36. The man revealed like in her 5 weeks pregnant, heading into the match. Like Lynch hesitated like to break the news to then Chairman Vince McMahon because she assumed that it would get her fired, as she was one of the company's featured top stars and a title holder. Like the former champion revealed that news after WrestleMania, and to her, I'm 5 weeks pregnant, and so I was maybe we could like I kept talking so that maybe he missed the what's that the gravity in my concentrate my concentrate like on this award-winning documentary. Like I was somehow going to make without waiting for me to finish, and with zero hesitation in his voice, he responded with the last words I expected to come out of his mouth. I congratulate, saying congratulations, congratulations, like which is the one word praise, one praising word, I guess you could say congratulations, but she continued with her inner thoughts, stating that she had gone to Vince, expecting a verbal beatdown, but instead she was short. Oh,
That's
yes,
the cartoon movies that.
cartoon
Yeah. Like Trey you.
cartoon movies. I think she did. As a matter of fact, she did. But like all the movies was all in the back there. Yeah, it was in the back there. Yeah. Yeah. I thought those guys were very bird anyways. Yeah. Yeah, no problem. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, excuse me, Jamie. Yeah. But anyways, but yeah, back here, but she continued with her inner thoughts, like stating that she was showered with positive comments from the former chairman, and then she added, "Oh my God, like Rebecca, like that's fantastic, like that's fantastic news. Wow, I'm so happy for you," said McMahon, as revealed by Becky Lynch in her book. And then she responded saying, I sat there, stunned in tears, like beginning to stream down my face, like relief, like joy, like harmonious hormones of all the positive outcomes. This was the most surprising, he added. Or she added. What's it? He, just because you call herself a man doesn't mean she's actually a male human being. Like, she's obviously a female. My apologies. She wrote on her book. Becky Lynch also revealed in her book that she wanted to put over Shayna Baszler at WrestleMania 36. The Queen of Spades was getting a monster push, which come to a screening halt, like after her loss to her fan support. Like, so would have been a win-win for all parties involved, like if she lost, but in the end, the higher ups like did not approve. But what are your thoughts on Becky Lynch's confession of her of her conversation with Vince McMahon, and then her revealing that McMahon did not know, and she didn't tell her, tell him that she was not want to she did not want to jeopardize her chances of defending her Raw Women's Championship against Shayna Baszler on that year's showcase event. And do you think that it was for the best, or do you think that it was very silly, like, to think of that? And regardless to that, like, Vince McMahon would have congratulated her, and maybe he would have canceled. It would have been for the Raw Women's Championship, for the vacant Raw Women's Championship. Let me rephrase that. But it is what it is. And do you think that Beckman should have put over? Beckman should have put over the Queen of Spades. Let me know in the comments also about that as well. Which most people said like that she should have put her over, but Becky Lynch said she wanted to, but the higher ups in WWE at the time did not see her see Shayna Baszler as a singles main roster singles championship, which that was very unfortunate, like, in women's champion. But yeah, think about what it could have been if it was otherwise. Like, and Becky Lynch got her way of putting over the Queen of Spades, and that would make perfect sense because there's other reason of doing it, because she was pregnant at the time. She would have took some time off that way, but they decided to keep the belt on her. And then she told Vince McMahon after the match in the last minute, where she congratulated and then brained her with a lot of positive praise, saying like I am so happy for you and stuff, and congratulations, like, and it was like, how long you, and then and if she, and let's think about what would have been if she revealed this sooner rather than later. Maybe she would have been taken out of the match, like, and then she would have continued mainly focusing on the pregnancy, on her future daughter Rue, and then we could have possibly seen somebody else just never main roster women's championship. It just wouldn't have been the SmackDown women's championship. Or it could have been somebody on Raw, which I'm not sure what could have possibly been it. I mean, it could have been Liv Morgan. It could have been Ruby Riott. It could have been anybody. There was really not that much women on the roster. Division and the comparison in the main roster today, SmackDown won that spotlight because we had Alexa Bliss, we got Nikki Cross, we had Bayley, Sasha Banks, Naomi, Lacey Evans, part of trying to successfully defend her championship, but she managed. Let's move on to the next wrestling news. We got some. But yeah, like on that Shayna Baszler losing, I think she kind of lost some of her credibility for taking an L to the man, even though Becky Lynch was a bigger star and she needs to remain relevant and as a champion, but at the same time she was pregnant, and then she also needs some time off, like, because she obviously cannot wrestle pregnant, like she barely did wrestling Baszler in this match of WrestleMania. which is, I believe she became the second ever women's wrestler overall to wrestle while pregnant, because Soraya's mom wrestled while she was pregnant with her. I should recall, because I heard about that from a Wildest wrestling news video about. I believe Soraya mentioned this on an interview, but yeah, like it was confirmed that her mother, like when she was wrestling in the UK, like she did so while she was pregnant with Soraya at the time. Like, I mean, she was wrestling like even way before she was even pregnant, let alone even giving birth to the former Divas champion. But she also did so when she was pregnant with her, which, uh, and also Becky, Becky Lynch then also. And then Becky Lynch also Becky Lynch became the first ever pregnant woman to win the women's championship. And first ever WWE wrestler, I should say, in WWE to wrestle while pregnant. But yeah, moving on to the more news about Becky Lynch with the man. Sorry about that. Is Becky Lynch done with WWE after WrestleMania 40? Which it says, Becky Lynch recently confirmed during an interview on the MMA Hour that there has been no word on a new deal. While she is confident of her ability at this stage in her career, the former WrestleMania 40, she explained, Lynch will lock horns with Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Championship at WrestleMania 40. The 37-year-old last held the world title 2 years ago. She will this year. The Irish star recently fired a massive shot at Ripley for the latter's explicit social media antics. It will be interesting to see if the man dethrones mommy next weekend. And there's no explanation for her to tell the MMA Hour on this article, but it does have a vote saying who you think will. Do you think Becky Lynch needs to take the title of yes and the no? 11%, or not 89%. 89% of yes and 11% of no. Which I think these go. And I'm gonna ask you this question: do you think that Becky Lynch is going to be the one to dethrone Rhea Ripley especially at this year's Mania? Let me know in the comments down below. I sure think she is. Like, it's about time that we need her to need someone to dethrone Rhea Ripley and beat her 2-long-year undefeated streak. Like, ever since joining the Judgment Day, with Liv Morgan being the final girl to the pin the Eradicator. And even though her constantly could resign, she could be like, it could be like a similar McIntyre scenario. Even though if she loses, she probably would resign, or she could like leave a WWE and join a certain All Elite Wrestling company, like plenty of fellow former WWE stars did. Like, whether if it's male and female, but you can see Becky Lynch can join their former fellow colleagues, like in the All Elite Wrestling landscape. And let's hope, like, if she does, let's hope she won't be lost in the shuffle. And even if it's not for a championship, let's hope it'll be like in dream matches. Even if it's on weekly shows, like we could see Rebecca Quinn taking on, I don't know, perhaps Willow Nightingale, Rebecca Quinn against Sky Blue, Rebecca Quinn versus what's her name? Serena Deeb, Rebecca Quinn versus Britt Baker, Rebecca Quinn reuniting with Saraya, like as 2/3 of PCB, or it could be Rebecca Quinn versus Mercedes Moné, which we haven't seen them wrestle in a one-on-one match since like Hell in a Cell 2019, which that's 5 years ago. But anyways, yeah, there's a variety of women's wrestler that you can wrestle with. My point is, we can, and also, yeah, not to mention Rebecca Quinn versus Timeless Tony Storm, like with her in this persona. And I don't think they ever wrestled each other before, even though they've been on the same brand before back in 2021. But that was when Tony Storm was in the mid card before she even was elevated to the main event spot, like against Charlotte Flair when. But Becky Lynch was SmackDown Women's Champion at the time. Tony Storm was facing the mid card with heel women, like with Charlotte Flair hitting her with pies in her face and being in that storyline, which was very, very god awful and horrendous to say the least. Luckily, she redeemed herself by requesting a release, which was granted. And then she joined AEW, which she spent from her past 2 years on, and now she's successful as AEW Women's Champion, being the third ever. I mean, that's the first ever the second ever 3-time AEW Women's Champion. Yeah, that's right, AEW Women's Champion with this very entertaining S's out. And then, which hilariously, this backstage interview on AEW Dynamite said, "I'm not going to say that." But yeah, my point is we can see so many dream matches with a lot more work to get done in the Stanford-based company, even though she achieved so many accolades, even winning women's tag team champions with her idol Lita. Like, I mean, she could possibly get, but I think she should stay because she got more wrestlers than Perez if she ever gets called up to the main roster. Or name anybody else from NXT that she could possibly face, like a Blair Davenport or Kiana James, or like on the main roster though. Like if any of these women that she could wrestle again on the main, and even Lyra or possibly leaves the company, go to a company like AEW or even TNA, or like if she's still interested of staying in the wrestling business. But yeah, let's keep our fingers crossed for the best for Becky. And then for WWE fans, y'all keep your fingers crossed for you to be signed. But for the AEW wrestlers, y'all also do the same of crossing your fingers and praying to God. Like if y'all, of course, Christians, like I would suggest that, but I'm not going to force that and shove that down your throat. But yeah, we're going to move on to the next wrestling news, and that is WWE may have what's that deliberately spoiled 2 Attitude Era legends like return for WrestleMania 40, according to Aiden English. They say the devil is the detail, and in the closest this past week where treat at WrestleMania 40, Dwayne Johnson showed up to rub Cody Rhodes during the opening segment. The Brahma Bull made the long walk to the ring, whispered something in Rhodes' ear, and walked away. The Rock appeared to have left the arena, taking everyone by surprise at the antics. However, this was merely a swerve, as he later in the show, The Rock dragged Cody Rhodes into the parking lot area where the cameraman focused on a production truck emblazed with John Cena and Stone Cold Steve Austin, which I forgot to point out because I remember seeing that production truck when The Rock was beating the holy hell out of Cody Rhodes. I've been meaning to ask you: is this a sign if The Rock, I mean not The Rock, if John Cena and Stone Cold Steve Austin gonna make some kind of appearance at this year's showcase event. Which I need to be being on my wrestling grind, like seeing what's the Easter eggs like for this year's WrestleMania, and I fully apologize about that. I was trying to quickly get the wrestling review done at that time, but now after me doing that wrestling review video, but yeah, that's what basically happened on that episode of Monday Night Raw. Like, is that, and then they showed and let me know in the comments below if this is a tease that we could see the returning Cena and Steve Austin. But yeah, but anyways, back to the review video. Like I said, like I don't believe there probably was some like some in like what's that in like there was no intentionality. That's what he said. Like to it, like having been to the Allstate Arena, knowing where they line the trucks up. That's where they are. So that like it's not like they moved anything to make that shot. I've seen a lot of people say like, "Oh, I've seen all the shots they've done backstage. They've had WrestleMania trucks, and this one had those two, John Cena and Stone Cold Steve Austin, most specifically. So I'll point this out. They didn't wrap a new truck just for this shot. That was the television production truck. It it has it has looked like that for years and years and years. Like it's had it had Cena and Austin on the truck side of it. English said. and and then he continued the ad like, but I'm sure maybe when they were planning to went in the shot, it was like, oh, sugar honey iced tea, this looks gave it a little extra attention, he added, saying that it was very very peculiar for them to keep showing that, doing it into the angle when it had Cena and Steve Austin on those trucks, even though they've been there for the past few years, it's not like it's new, like they've been having that person being this usual bionic redneck rattlesnake self, but. But yeah, that could be a sign at the same time. And do you agree with Aiden English? Like, it's not that much of a shocker, but only just them. What's very I'll say very suspicious, I should say, is them pointing the camera at it, like at that particular truck. And do you think that's a sign that we could possibly see two surprise returns of the two iconic main eventers and perhaps legends in their respective eras, like in the Attitude and Ruthless Aggression era? But let me know in the comments down below. But let's move on to the next wrestling news, and that is okay. Let's move on to the next. Next up, we got some. Next up, we got some Nick Aldis news as he reveals why Cody Rhodes uh, deserves to be rewarded in WWE. WWE star Cody Rhodes will compete in the biggest match of his career at WrestleMania 40 in April. Like he will look to win the top prize of sports entertainment giant for the half plus year reign. His former rival and current SmackDown GM, Nick Aldis, recently commented that the American years, like from forming All Elite Wrestling to his WWE comeback, and speaking to Inside the Ropes, Nick Aldis brought up Cody's rise in the independent scene after leaving WWE in 2016. They worked a match at All In, like in 2018. Like Rhodes moved on to AEW. Ultimately, he carved out the position of the main eventer in the pro wrestling juggernaut. Nick Aldis said Cody's story will be studied throughout history as a sort of a masterful piece like tactical in this business because he could have just sat pretty like on a nice contract like making good money and just kind of he could have just sat and catering, kept making his money and rode it out like probably got a behind the scenes role and got the got that comfort zone, but he took the risk and he deserves the award. He deserves the reward. I should correct myself if I said that wrong, but yeah, but you if you want the full interview, it's on Article 2952 to 3036. And what is your thoughts on Nick Aldis's praise on the Cody Rhodes? And do you agree that he should deserve the reward, like of being like what's that like an all-time success like in his wrestling career, like him taking the risk at in 2016, which and he could have been sitting in catering and waiting for when he's gonna have his next moment and opportunity, like which he thought of himself like saying, like, why should I wait? And have I been doing this for nearly 9 years? Like, I think I should move on. And there's really something wrong. Like, if I can't get no main event success in nearly 10 years, like I might as well just go somewhere else and reinvent myself and